Hey there, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris Orme, and today we are playing some Starters Orders 7 once again. For today, we're ending off the season. We're at the end of September. We've got October and November to go through, and yeah, as you've seen in the previous videos, I hope you've watched the previous videos. So you are up to date on what we've got. We've got a bunch of horses in the breeding barn, bunch of mares all in full. We've got no studs in there right now. We've got some yearlings who are decent. If we look here, you can see as 1-year-olds, they've got decent enough stats and a little bit of power. Sorry, potential. I just saw Sam power, so but a little bit of potential and decent enough stats. We'll see how they make. Sky Falcon's got the potential, but not really much else. So it's kind of difficult to see what we've got going on there. And then a bunch of horses out in the field. Feel free to pause the video as I'm going through these, so you can figure out who the horses that you like are and what might be good horses. I'm having a double click on a couple of them just because I can't remember them being as good as they were. But yeah, those are the horses. We'll figure them out in year 3 and Polish Sprite in year 4. Just like we did with Glingamil, we had some issues figuring out Glingamil prior to this season. So these 7s and 10 in a row, we were trying to figure out where he liked to run. I thought it'd be a mile 2, and I was wrong. And then I thought maybe we'll try down to a mile, and then a mile 1 and a mile 2. Didn't work out. So new season we did a mile 4. Then a mile 2 seemed to work, but then not at the highest level. Yeah. And then a mile 1 worked, and a mile 1 worked at grade 1, and a mile 2 worked at grade 1, and it kept working. So that's what he's in for. The next one is the Jockey Club Gold Cup. Tootling had a little bit of an issue with Tootling as well at times, but yeah, they don't like to win their maidens quite often, and then just straight into a grade 3 and started winning and doing okay, and then a little bit of a rough spot around about here and there, and then a couple of races, and then boom, no win in 4. So Tootling needs to rebound back. Grade 2, just a nice easy one. We're bumped up to a mile from 7 furlongs there. Suleimani's running at a mile. Again, didn't really do too well early on. We had a couple of races abroad that didn't work out, but then we found our rhythm, and no win in 3. I thought, wait a minute, then we only win 1 out of that 4, and then back-to-back races again, including a 6th place. And you just start to think, wait, what am I doing with this horse? And then second, fourth, first, second, first, second, 7th, just up a furlong, couldn't handle it. I understand that. And then back down for another grade 2 win, just because grade 1s at this level are tough to find. So it's kind of what we got going on. Glingamil's got a grade 1. The other 2 have got grade 2s. And I'm fairly happy with that. For a first bunch of horses, I'm very happy. We've lost about half our money since the recording began. Yeah. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do about that to earn more money. But I'm just going to save before we get started as well. I think that's everything. So let's go to the next race. So Suleimani, a grade 2 sprint. And let me just throw a ton of money on Suleimani. And then we'll go off to watch this race, and hopefully Suleimani comes in. We should make some money back through breeding. Eventually we'll earn more than we're spending. But right now, I just want to start betting on my horses again, because that's how I did it in breeding. I bet entirely on my own horses to finish in second or third. So I did basically each ways, and I did what else did I do? I did each ways a lot. I did basically to place. I didn't actually do it all on my horses. I think the first two bets were on other horses to place, but I didn't really do too much to win because I didn't know what was going to happen. So we earned about 40 million in total, and then went and spent a bunch of that on the facilities and bought a couple of cheap horses as yearlings, and then sold them as 2-year-olds, and did a bunch of different stuff to earn the rest of the money I had. So it wasn't too bad in that regard. See here we got Tronchon, Citronelle, Heliodor, some good-ish horses. Gerard right at the back. Oh my god, Gerard's in this one. But I still think we should win. We're into a furlong and a half, and Suleimani's in good position, ready to make a move, hopefully. And there we go. We can start chasing down. Tronchon was falling back. Citronelle's making a run for the line. Gerard's coming through the pack. But Suleimani is a good enough horse to power through that finish line. And yeah, it was close. It was really close. But just by a nose, Suleimani will take that. And yeah, it's used to winning races. But yeah, it should have won that a lot more comfortably. A lot more comfortably. It's won 2 grade 1s, and that's its 9th grade 2. But again, that's, you know, if you look at the field for that, which I didn't really do before, you know, Citronelle I like a lot. I think that's a pretty good horse. It's run at grade 1 levels. It's laid back. There's a lot, you know, that you need to pay attention on that horse. Chime has won a couple of races we've been in. You know, he's going after another grade 1. Tronchon, again, has won a couple of races that probably they shouldn't have. Gerard's come through in grade 2s again. Was really good in these 3. We were in 2 of those races, I believe, with 2 different horses. I didn't think we'd be beaten, but is a nice closer horse if it can get the right run. So it wasn't as easy as it could have been. But I mean, that being said, it was still a good run for Suleimani, so we need to figure out a little bit of what we're going to do with them. Yeah, if I wait until mid-October, then we'll be able to find races probably for most of them. So the weekly sales, no. 2-year-olds. Any 2-year-olds that look really good. Unraced 2-year-old. Selling races. And also one of mine, I believe, absolutely cool. No, very cool was one of mine. But again, don't want it. Excellent guest. Excellent guest. Why does that sound like a horse that I know the name of? Maybe we've bought. I'll probably go after it again anyway. But yeah, if you look here, didn't really do well in a grade 3, just outside the places in a grade 2, and then couple of laid-back runs where second place in a couple of grade 2s and another one to finish off. So a horse that's, nearly always been at the front of the field and almost has won grade 2s. So at this point, with a little bit more luck, could be 3 grade 2 wins as a 2-year-old colt. And yeah, I'm up for that, to be honest with you. I am up for that. Decent win there. So Toby might be another decent one. Excitable and normal. So probably Toby and Excellent Guest. So Toby and Excellent Guest on the 13th. So that's yeah, that's fine. I'm probably going to be saving a lot just so I don't skip through. Like I did that, I think twice. I did it once on a 2-year-old sale and I did it once on a breeding sale. I don't want to be doing that. So Tootling, again, I think this is just, yeah, a mile and a grade 2. Probably the same field. Pretty much. No? Not at all, it doesn't seem. Okay, well, Hawana likes to go to the front and then fade. Nomcheki's won a couple. Chapel Queen looks a bit interesting as well. Let's go into this one. Yeah, so Tootling hasn't won in 4 races. I think, again, we should win with a top-weighted, top-rated horse and all the rest of that. I think we can put a decent whack of money again to win on Tootling. There we go, 1 to 3 odds-on favourite. And as long as the jockey gets things right, we should be coming away with a win and restore our monetary balance up by quite a bit. So put in 3 to 4 million on our horses, or maybe 4 to 5 million actually on Suleimani. 5 million, I think. There was 4 million here on Tootling. Don't know if I'm going to put a lot of money on Glingamil. That's a much tougher race for us to win. 3 across the front. And we've got Tullamore Dew as well on the outside, just blocking off any runs right now. So we hope to see that fall. Havana is up there with Chapel Queen and Nomcheki. Tullamore Dew, like I say, on the outside, leading authority. And Glenarth is in the rear. I want to see us hold that inside line. We're going up the inside now of Nomcheki as we go around the bend. Tullamore Dew isn't going to like running that outside line. It isn't going to be able to hold us off, which means then we're able to move into position after this bend, hopefully. And we'll see what happens there. Looks like we were pushed right up against the rail there by Nomcheki. Do not like that. Do not like that. So we'll find a way through. I'm sure of that, as Hawana will drop back. And I'm not sure how good a horse Chapel Queen is, but we're now forging ahead as we come to that 1.5 furlong line. Chapel Queen makes the move. There goes Havana's collapse towards the end of this race. Tullamore Dew's going to come through as well, but Tootling eases through, doesn't get hurt by that earlier push to the inside, and just coasts in for a good win. So again, we knew that that was going to be a big thing for us with a class horse in the field. We're stepping down from grade 1 into grade 2. And selling races, avoid selling races. They're not quality horses. And that puts us back up to 28 million. I think we started at 36, so we're down a bit. But we've gone from... Yeah, we've revamped the breeding barn because half of those aren't going to be in there next season. But we have revamped the breeding barn, and we've got a bunch of 2-year-olds and 1-year-olds that look a lot better than we did have. So for 10 million, I'm pretty happy with the the way that's actually set up. There we go. We didn't skip past the day. But yeah, Glingbill's one of those strange horses that looks absolutely phenomenal, but I couldn't get running in 1 year, so I just put him out to the field. And with a lot of these horses, a lot of the 2-year-olds I couldn't get running. This year, Polish Sprite, since we rebought them, I thought, grade 1s, look at that. I mean, you look at it, grade, in the handicaps did well, then grade 3 wins, then grade 2 comes second place. Drops down to a mile, didn't like it, finished 4th. And then second, I'm thinking to myself, hold on. This is a horse that I gave up on as a 2-year-old, has come back as a 3-year-old under somebody else, and has run really well. I'm going to spend 2.2 million, I believe. Somewhere in that range, might be as much as 2.5. I believe it's more down towards 2.2. But yeah, I went and rebought the horse. At that point, put it in the Kentucky Derby, finished 4th. I thought, okay, a furlong up, mile 2 isn't its distance, but it still ran really well. So we put it in the Preakness, finished back of the pack. Not sure what happened. And then a second place in a mile 1 grade 2, because I was trying to get it to win a race, and that didn't work out. And then a mile 1 finishes 4th, and I'm just done. I'm just done at that point for the season, like I was Glingamill. But now Glingamill's come in as a really, really good horse. Won't be favourite for this one, but does have a really good chance. It is the form horse, and that's what I really like. Yeah, it is the form horse. That's what I really like. So Lexus Boy Souffleur, Percy the Pinto, Snake Grave, Womble, another horse I gave up on, but it's coming through quite well. They're also in the mix. But yeah, if I look at some of this field, you can see that some of these we've gone after. Souffleur, Percy the Pinto, Long Run, we beat in that race. We beat most of the field in the Manhattan. We beat, Souffleur again in the Gold Cup. And then the Pacific classes, we beat another few again. So this field he knows how to run against. And I'm really not too concerned. Enemy Action's a decent horse again. It's won a couple of grade 1s. I can understand why it would be, up there. But then again, a lot of these horses have won grade 1s, including Womble, that I gave up on. And I named that horse myself. Because I was watching a Soviet Womble video at the time. So I know that's my horse. And I'm a bit gutted, like a couple of others I've seen, that it's come through and it's done things. And if that shows up in auctions, I'm probably going to go after it as well. So there we go. We're actually going to follow Womble and see, I don't know, just if we might be able to grab that horse again. Yeah, I don't think the odds are good enough for us to really just throw a ton of money onto Glingamill. I'm gonna put a bit of money on though. Not an absolute boatload of cash. Like I say, I don't think that we should be the favourite in this field, but we've got a very good chance and we're in form. We're out to the front early there with Womble just on our inside. Now, we do like to lead from the front. That's the thing. I think Suleimani likes to run at the rear for some races. Tootling's ridden in pack, or vice versa, those two. And Glingamill just loves to lead from the front. So we get the whole field in shot as much as possible here. And say ourselves on Womble out to the front. Party Doctor there in third. With Snake Raven, Long Run, the stablemates on the outside. Into Enemy Action, then Percy the Pinto on the rail. From the rail out, then Uprise. No, sorry, Top Cop off Uprise, Souffleur, who is a very quick closer, but doesn't seem to be able to judge the run well enough. And Alexis Boy now is off at the rear there in the black silks. Let's focus on the front two. Zoom out to see a little bit of the chasing pack. 5 furlongs to go down the back stretch. No real changes. Souffleur, we're going to keep an eye on. Looks like we've bridged a little bit there. Souffleur and, who is that? Uprise, trying to make runs on the outside. 3.5 furlongs. Enemy Action on the inside has got a good line round this bend to maybe get up. Here comes Party Doctor. Round the outside of Womble, getting into position. Snake Rave is also going to be making a move. Womble now trying to push back out. It looks like Top Cop is coming up into the fight with Enemy Action. Can they get in position? 1.5 furlongs down to the final furlong. Womble holding off the rest of the field. Glingermill running for the line. Womble is going to come through, but doesn't have it to sustain. Can't quite get past Glingermill. And oh my days, Glingermill will win the Jockey Club World Cup after an abysmal season. An absolute abysmal season last year. Glingermill has come round and absolutely decimated the best of the American horses over a mile too. It is the best flat runner at this distance. Glingermill, your World Cup winner, high rated, high weighted, extreme fated, front to finish, front at the start, never challenged. Womble, though, a very good run again, and that's why I would like to pick this horse back up. Yeah. Well, how different has that been from the other videos we've seen in this season, guys? We've got 3 wins in back-to-back-to-back races. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. But Glingermill, what a season this had. Where do we start this season? We start this season as a 71. Oh, sorry, not 71. As a 91. No, we didn't. Aha! We started as a 98, threw it out to Durbanville for that mile 4 to test distance. We dropped back down as we came home, and we were at 94 to win that, up to 100 rating for the Dubai World Cup, which now I'd be willing to throw Glingermill into and feel a lot better about our chances than maybe a mid-pack finish. But yeah, you know, up to 108, 108, 116, 120, 120, 124. Now we're up to 126 rated, and Glingermill becomes our highest rated horse. 5 Group 1 wins, which is more than Tootling and Suleimani combined. Still's only won 8 races, but if you look at that, 7 of those have been graded. The one that hasn't been graded is, of course, the Maiden. That's how I like to run my horses. I do like to run maidens, even if they're a super quality horse. So, absolutely fantastic. Now is my second highest earning horse and is in prime position to possibly win really, really big races. So, I'll be interested to see what the stats change and look like as a 6-year-old, if there's any more potential there. I think if that goes up to about 85 or more %, then I'll be really, really happy with Glingermill and really optimistic about their chances. So, on the 13th, gonna save, just in case, again, I jump past the 13th for some reason, which has happened. Any legends running? So, New York is Camford Cliffs. Not really won a lot of races. Bullet Train. Bullet Train's very excitable. We'll run the Queen Anne Stakes over a mile, which we've won before. So that could be interesting. Long run. Hasn't really won too much. Lock Song. Okay. It's done okay. Yeats as well. So, sadly, my favorite two horses, Frankel, just, James Palace, Queen Anne's, BC Turf, done. 3 wins and out. And then Secretariat with not an unbeaten season, didn't like the grade 2 at 6 furlongs to open off its career, but then just absolutely dominated. 132 rating, 9 grade 1s, and 1 grade 2 before saying, you know what, I'm done. We're out. So I did include all the flat legends. I was hoping they'd stay around for a few years. As you can see, a lot of them have just left the game. So that's a little bit disappointing. Also, though, you'll see, I don't think we've seen Bobsworth and Q Card. We haven't seen Olympic Glory, Acceleration, Black Caviar, another really nice horse. Desert Orchid, a very famous horse. And Demman as well, very, very quality horse. So we haven't seen most of those. But, I mean, I think Demman's in the game. Or, should be coming into the game soon. 8 years old, Desert Orchid at 9. Bobsworth at 8, so I don't know if they age up in the... background. We'll have to check that out, guys. We will have to check that out. Okay, anybody else added to the bottom? Does not look like it. Okay. So who did I like here? Didn't like Clockmaker. I liked Excellent Guest, and then I liked Toby. Okay. So yes to Excellent Guest. Yes to Toby. So big price. I mean, laid back, almost won 3 grade 2s. It's going to go over the 2.5 million. It's going to go over 3 million. Oh. So a lot of that money that we actually put back in through the betting, we're going to throw a fair amount at this horse, because this could be a really quality 2-year-old horse. So yeah, Toby's coming up, and is a nice horse to bid on. I think there's, enough to take a risk on. There we go. So now we can see the Excellent Guest. We paid a large amount of money for. It's a really nice horse, except it has 0 finish application. And yeah, that's why. It's in really good positions. It just can't get across the line. So I'm just going to put that back into auction. And then Toby, the cheap one, for that finish. If I could just take that bar and put it on the other horse, I'd be very happy. But sadly, for the, let's see, 3.2, 3.8, almost 3.9 million for the pair. I mean, we didn't really get what we wanted for it. So okay, breeding sales. So we're not going to be in there. Sadler's Venture. I'm interested in Sadler's Venture. I don't think I'm actually interested in much else. Okay, okay. French life as well. Let's get the graded horses in here. And again, we're trying not to overpay. But you've really got to risk some money at some point. And that's why we end up losing money, because I speculate a lot. So, sales, French life is not good enough. So she joins those guys and Sadler's Venture, sadly, as well in there. So we've got those four. Skip a day, they all go. Okay. So that was 3.94.5, 4.8 million, let's say. So for 4.8 million, we didn't really get our money back there, did we? We lost about 1.25 to 1.5 million, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, that was rough. That's rougher than it's actually been for a while. Skip through till the Monday and just see what other races are about. So, over a mile, grade 3, grade 2, not really interested. Grade 1, grade 2 for fillies. What's that grade 1? Open. So you're only going to have that grade 1. Yep. You go after the grade 1, you go after the grade 2 for fillies. And then you go after the BC Classic against some really good horses. And a night to finishing off the season in the Sunsea Summer Cup. Which again, you know, that's a pretty decent prize person, a pretty decent race. We'll see if we can handle the trip abroad. And then this one, of course, is the big money race. And Darrowbands in there. Commerce is pretty good. A bunch of the horses we know and we've run and we've won against. And then there's Talenti, who looks to be coming down from a mile 4, maybe. So that would be an interesting one there. But I just don't feel like there's anything else. So we've got a few more days. Let's see. Weekly sales, yearling sales, 27th. Let me skip forward those few days and then we will go back in and see the end of the schedule. So over a mile, Tutling Suleimani. It's the 16th of November. Could be a race for Tutling, who's going to finish off as a graded 2 horse this season, I guess. Whereas Suleimani can go back in for a Hong Kong mile and try and make a run of that. I mean, Taliska's in. Oh my God, this horse. If it ever comes up for auction, I just want to. I need to look at it. Womble's in there as well. I mean, I'm not sure those are races that we should be confident of winning. But yeah, let's at least declare for the races and see right now. Let's go straight in here. This is another grade 2 over a mile with William Van Gogh, Hot Spark, Farja, Balgren. I think we've raced against all those before. Hot Spark and Impulsive Decision up at the front with us and Balgren. Faja on the outside, then back to the inside for William Van Gogh. Alton House opened the least, Lyle, sorry, and Intomist at the rear. We're stalking, we're on the inside as long as Balgrin doesn't come across and cut us off. If it doesn't cut us off, then we're okay. And we just seem to be keeping our head nearest flank, so it can't actually do that. 5 furlongs then on the back stretch as we come round this bend. We're in good position. We can't really be hurt. Not yet. So, impulsive decision. Not really ready to make a move. Keeps coming to the outside. Darts back inside. I think it's going to hold that outside position now and start trying to make some headway soon. Ourselves and Balgrin are there. Up the inside is William Van Gogh trying to get into position. Hot Spark just holding that spot round the rear flank of Impulsive Decision. And as we come off the end of this turn with 2 furlongs to go, we can see now all these horses are trying to come through. Van Gogh really making a fist of it. Tootling is here with them though. Tootling's got the inside track. Tootling's got the fresh air. Tootling's got the lead, the power, the class, and the stamina just to be able to hold off these challenges right now. Van Gogh is going to go for it one more time, and time will run out on Willie Boy. So a decent run there. Textbook, hold the inside rail, never get cut off. Take the shortest distance to the post and just coast on through. So a good little win. Like I say, not really a test. Again, it's another grade 2. Selling races. Like that's an insane form to look at as coming up in auction. But yeah. You grow to know that that's not what it's not what it is all about, guys. So at this stage, 2 grade 1s, 7 grade 2s, and 5 grade 5s for our laid-back horse Tootling. Suleimani is currently 292. Glingamil is 511. So let me double check. 27th. Here we go. So the Yearling sales. First Ace and Hidden Ability. Okay, so wins at a few places. Couple of grade 1 wins over a mile. Back-to-back decent races as well. I mean, placed well elsewhere. Yeah, very hit and miss across those because they're excitable. So I probably wouldn't go for Hibber. But Coeur de Lion, not a bad sire there. Not a bad sire, so maybe we go after its progeny. Look there, mile 2, mile 2, mile 2 win. Roberstone looks like a decent one as well. That looks decent as well. And then first, yeah. Okay, so for me, looking at this, I think there's a few horses to go after. So this trio is probably really good. Coeur de Lion for the future, remember that name. This one's excitable, so we won't go after this one. But yeah, I think Hidden Ability and First Ace, and then this trio near the end. Mountain Cat, Gills, Honey, and Olden Times. I think that's my 5 to go after. So 300 grand to get me a laid-back Yearling. So Hidden Ability there. We'll see how these horses look, and again, if they're not going to be sort of good enough, then there's a chance that we just throw them out to auction again and earn most of our money back. That's first ace, so that's decent. And then we're down to our trio of horses we're interested in on the back of their pedigree. So Mountain Cat, Gills, Honey, and Olden Times. Mixed bag of how much they're going to cost. I think 300 grand, 180 grand at most. No, not even 100 grand maybe. Yeah, not even 100 for Gills, and then about 500,000 probably for this third. So there we go. And then dip out the auction to take a look. Hidden ability. The ability there is hidden very, very well. First ace. 0 finish application. So yeah, the rest is bars. I just looked at the potential, so I wanted to go back and check and see if there was anything else. Mountain Cat, only 50% finish application, but already is worth pretty much all the money that we spent. Because it's got a lot of potential. So Robert Stone and Welsh Rhapsody. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with Mountain Cat out of this group. Gills Honey, I mean, just as a breeder, maybe that'd be okay. So I might hold on to that and see as a 2-year-old. Yeah, Mr. Das isn't ours. So Olden Time can get put back into an auction. So let's see. Gills Honey and Mountain Cat. So that's, 400,000 for the pair of them. Hidden ability didn't sell. Okay. I mean, if we got to do it this way, we got to do it this way. There we go. So hidden ability, Olden Times and first ace. I mean, first ace makes its money back. I'm okay there. Done a couple 100 grand elsewhere, or maybe 100 grand. So plus the 4. So 500,000 for one that might be good for breeding and one that's probably going to earn a couple of million in racing like these guys can. Because should end up at least similar. I mean, the other filly could end up similar to Tootling apart from that finish application. Look at Suleimani's stats. Nothing really exceptional there either. Just good stats all over. And Glingamill's kind of the star horse, which, say, until his 5-year-old season, did not perform. So, a little bit of patience, especially after Womble and having to bring back Polish Sprite, who we had and we sold. Definitely think that that is going to be something to keep in mind. Just that little bit more patience with the horses. Okay, 2-year-olds right now, we don't care about. Was there anything added? No, we don't care about those 2-year-olds. There you go. So Womble and Rising Talisker are both running today. I did choose them to be for auctions only, but okay. So yeah, Glingamill will be the favourite for the BC Classic. Talisker will be the favourite for the BC Mile. And let's just go and see what happens here. Yeah, Talenti. I would put money on Glingamill, but Talenti's there. Silver Token's there. I mean, Commerce is there. Daroban could come in for a win, but is a bit fired up in this one. But look at their form. Token, really, really good. Talenti, really good. Glingamill, Commerce, both really, really good. Whispering Blues had some ups and downs as well. There's plenty of like 4th place, 5th place finishes just behind the leaders on this field. So, yeah, the top 4 should be the top 4 in my mind. Party Doctor, a bunch of 3rd places there. So, there you go. Whispering Blues is pushed up quite a decent amount, but a good field, a good test for Glingamil. We'll see exactly how this runs. So it's going to be raining. So mile 2, so we're going to speed up until that final bend. A decent start there with Whispering Blues on the outside. Glingamil, again, though, likes to lead from the front. The pack falls in. We've got Glingamil with Spell Checker, Whispering Blues on this outside. Party Doctor, Darrow Band, Lexus Boy over the river, all in there with Snake Rave, Souffleur, Long Run, Silver Token. Back to Commerce, Talenti, there on the rise a little bit. On the inside with Topcock, Percy, the Pinto. I don't like how far up the field, in the Black Silks there, just in the shot there, is that closer, Souffleur. But as we come up to 1.5 furlongs, we're out, we're clear, we're running for the line. Over the River is going to make a shot at 2nd place over Party Doctor. Talenti is in midfield. Commerce doesn't do much. Silver Token is coming through really late on and might just have taken 3rd place, possibly just away from 2nd by a head. But over 5 lengths back for Talenti, who, you know, had run really well up until that point. So I wasn't 100% convinced that we were going to be absolutely dominant, but it did end up that way. Again in this one, Knick Knack 2, Carlton House, Gerard, Medalist, Storm Tide's going good. Elb finishes well in places. It's very difficult to see too much luck in this with most of these names. Womble, we know Womble can run well. And then you add in the beastly Rising Talisker. So, and who's Mortaz? Mortaz hasn't run well. I don't know why there's betting on them. But Suleimani can get a win. It's got the ability, I believe, to beat these horses. But Rising Talisker and ourselves on the inside, similar starts. And we'll see how this goes. Suleimani's going to drop to the rear of the field as a closer. On the inside, at the rear, as a closer, I mean, I think our race is already done because this field is just going to branch out and block us off. So we need to make sure we're not getting blocked off, but it's difficult when you've got to run an exceptionally wide bend, and our race is already done. Look how wide we ran that bend. I don't believe that Suleimani is going to have enough to come through here and do much of anything at all. Knick Knack 2 is coming through into 2nd place. Suleimani up into 3rd. It's a good run on an awful bend, and that's just because we were on that inside line. Inside line with like 5 abreast in front of us. Rising Talisker is going to come through and absolutely dominate that race. Suleimani, I do feel, could challenge Talisker, but it needs to be a small field. So, yeah. I believe that's the end of the racing. Yeah, we don't have anyone else in there. So, a little bit of a shame for Suleimani, but again, still a good run. We were quite far back, but I think we would have been within a couple of lengths of Talisker no matter what if we had a better line. But yeah, it's just that combination of being in the inside in a large field, being a closer. You drift towards the back and there's no clear path to get past anyone. You've got to go really wide around the bend you're running, almost double the distance of the other horses at that point, round that bend. You put in so much to stay with them that you haven't got the fight for the line. But still a very good run by Suleimani in a good class. Like I said, there's so many good horses here I was worried about. And I think we're in the class of, like Chime, who finished back in rear place. Stormtide, Gerard, Carlton House, Motaz, Womble, Elb, Vittori, Knick-Knack 2. And I mean, we should have beaten all of those horses. And then you've got a 14 grade 1 winning horse in Rising Talisker. That's the only one that maybe should have beaten us anyway. So I'm still very happy with the way that we saw that go off. So yeah, pretty decent. That's pretty decent. I mean, we got a couple of interesting races to come up, and breeder sales on the 24th. There's nothing there right now. We'll see when we get to that auction. Yeah. Let's see. There we go. Glingamil will be the favourite for the Sansi Summer Cup. Okay, Turfontein, we're back in South Africa. D-Lady, Gracious, Gretclaw. Look decent. Dynamo Home, yeah. Balthazar King's in here. We know these horses. We've raced against a few of them. Let's go race and see if Glingamil can win a big name race and against a good field in a foreign country. This is where we started the season. This is where we failed with Glingamil. We've got the inside, and as a front runner, I'm okay with it. So we love to lead from the front. Glingamil down this back stretch. We've got little under a mile left to go. D-Lady, Whaley, Bilbaido at the back. Balthazar King's there with Dynamo Hum and Rosarado. Then, well, hello there, Ridgewood Ruby and the Commander. We're changing things up a little bit. Scorched Earth in that group. Ridgewood Ruby in third place now. Gracious Gretclaw. There goes Glingamil with 2 furlongs left to go. I want to go to 1.5. There we go. We can see Commander Wish now is coming through. Glingamil not responding well to this challenge. D-Lady and Belbaido, Balthazar King, all coming up into this. Glingamil's going to fall right off the pace. Maybe it's running right-handed. Maybe it's just the competition. I do not know. But, yeah, Glingamil's a domestic horse that will dominate the Americans, but doesn't seem to have it in other places. And Tootling likes to be a bit more of a stalker in this one. We see Angel instead. Make my mark at the front with Tootling. Then down to Fanos, Indian Gift, and Camlet, with Wong again actually falling completely off here and out of the race. So we're all jockeying for position. With 2 furlongs left, we find ourselves rear of the field. The fight for the line begins, and Tootling is nowhere. Fanos is going to take this. Make my mark. Camlet, Angel instead. Violet d'Avril. And then maybe Tootling just ahead of the competition. Indian Gift. And Wong again refused to come out and race. So the top weight, I think, killed us. But yeah, again, we don't quite have the quality to go abroad and dominate in the big races. So that's something that we need to keep in mind. So yeah, still not a bad set of results, however. The 4 times previous, we finished 9th, 7th, 7th, 10th, and then 9th again for Glingamil there. So he has been abroad quite a lot. We went to Ascot, won the Queen Anne Stake with Suleimani. We went and finished 2nd in Lomarines Queen's Plate. At Kenilworth, we won the Cranji Mile. So we might travel okay. The Yearling Stakes, only a grade 3, but we did okay. After early South African issues with Suleimani and Tootling, not a great race there. But the Maktoum Challenge up into 4th, that wasn't too bad. 2nd in this grade 2. And the Coronation Stakes, we weren't great at either. 3rd in a maiden as well. So overall, I mean, it's interesting. It's very interesting to see if that's a factor to me, whether or not you're abroad or not. Like I say, it could just be right-hand turns being an issue for some of those races. It could just be those horses are really, really good if the game doesn't really sort of do much in terms of generating a large set of horses for those countries. So we're just racing against the absolute best. Ugh, handicap races. Really dislike those handicap races. Won a grade 3, but I'm betting that's against a terrible field. Yeah, so we're definitely not in. Yeah, I'm not in on any of those races. So Suleimani. Let's see what we can do then. The final race of the season. Talisker, Knick-Knack 2 is up here. Womble. So a lot of American horses. Henry's Hero joining in as well. Trust Fund Babe, I like that horse. I do like that horse. Yeah, okay. So some good horses. This should be an interesting race. Can we get Suleimani there alongside Rising Talisker? Will we have the lane draw? Will we have the way of getting through the pack? I don't know. And how will we handle that right-hand turn? How will Talisker? Talisker there in 2nd place behind Henry's Hero, Supreme Daughter. Up there with Silriley, Dapple Prince, White Fusion, Trust Fund Babe, Tat Spout, and Womble. Up to Suleimani, Maslek, Shining Oasis, Top Tide, Knick-Knack 2, Bright Spangle, and Snowdown Lily coming into the final 3 furlongs. I'm going to zoom out. We can see everything there. Talisker now is going towards the front, and we're well behind at this stage. We do have the pace to come and fight for it, but again, looks like we were on the outside. So we'll never really know what we could do. I do feel that we could have had a bit more success with better horses, or better runnings, I should say. Better pathways. Glingamil's 128, Suleimani's 125. Tootling down now to a 122. Yeah, I'm happy with all my horses. I'm happy with those 3. I think they are a very, very good bunch indeed. So we see there Castellano, top jockey, De Bond, the top trainer, and Valdivia. Usually my chosen go-to guy as an apprentice. Very good indeed. Rising Talisker is the top flat horse. We know this. It is known. Talenti's the stayer. We know this. It is known. Shikshikanestenago, I believe I got that right this time, is again the top flat sprinter. Top 2-year-old Dictinus Boy. We didn't really see them very much. Grade 1 win as a 2-year-old. Very, very good. Already won 1.5 million nearly as a 2-year-old. Talisker is the top flat 3-year-old and the top flat 4-year-old, our first winner in the award categories. Glinga Mill. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Absolutely fantastic stuff. So we've got new horses. Alexander Starr is a 1-year-old with good stats. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Dreams of Glory. Not much finish, but again, a good horse. Nemo Spirit, we do not like. We're going to put them in an auction. You can earn more money if you keep them back and sell them as a 2-year-old, I've heard, but for me, that's not worth it. Have to pick our races carefully, but Piranha could be decent as well. Night Mirage, sold. No finish application. Sandy, no. Decent as a 1-year-old. Now we're starting to get horses that I think we can do something with in those big races. Amadeus Wolf is also gone, and Viva Colonia, decent enough as a 1-year-old, and is laid back. So there we go. Pretty decent all in, I'd say, guys. Pretty decent all in. So how did you do? You got one Group 1. Coeur de Lion. We like Coeur de Lion. We like Dakota Canyon. Yeah, Fleur de Lion, Dakota Canyon, we like you guys. So, as long as they're not excitable, I'm going to bid on a couple of these. Because I think you really can look at the breeding a little bit more. Just see how good they were, how close they were in the races they didn't win. Did they win multiple Grade 1 wins? Were they close together? Were they poor fields? You know, is there a reason why those might be inflated stats? If not, they might be good horses. And if they're good horses, then let's just, hope that that passes through the bloodline. That they were bred with the right horse. Okay. There's a couple of in Exiles, which... In Exile's not a bad horse. We'll buy the one that's not excitable. There we go. I normally bid in 2s and 3s, so 20, 30 grand. Usually just helps me win quicker, if I'm honest. Okay, Massivo Man won a lot of graded races. That's kind of one of my horses. But very inconsistent, as you can see. Maybe that's going abroad, though. Yeah, I don't know about that one so much. 3 Grade 1 wins, but ended off really sucking in those graded races. And seldom. Didn't do well the BC Mile. Don't know why. But did okay. I mean, did okay, but probably not worth taking the risk on just yet. Okay. So, Pridus, no finish application. You get sold. South of the border. Decent, but we're not looking at decent. Waffle could be really good. Out of the Storm. Okay, so that's a Dakota Canyon one. And Waffle was Dakota Canyon as well. I thought so. Gills Honey could be good. A Mountain Cat could still be good. Sky Falcon could still be good. Classic Descent. Probably gonna throw into auction there. Sampo Star we'll keep. Heaven's Echo will keep. So not great horses all over the place. Polish Sprite could still be something good. Eagle Door. Oh, you look so good in places. Sieb looks good enough. Personal Touch looks good enough. We just need to get these horses running. Keengill, maybe too low a potential. We'll see. Prince Gia and the Magical Piece, which I really like the look of. We just need to get running. Then our big three. Tootling. Tootling still looks pretty dang good. Suleimani looks pretty dang good. And Glingamil looks pretty damn good with so many battling qualities. It's unbelievable. So yeah, happy enough with that. I'm going to go play with the breeding program. I'm going to set up some of these horses for races. And we'll join you to start the new season in the next video. Till then, guys, take care of yourselves. I've been Chris Orme. This is Starters Order 7. And I hope you come back soon.